Hi there! You're invited to listen to an exclusive excerpt from the next episode that I'll be publishing on Sunday. My next guest is absolutely fascinating, and this is just a teaser of what you can expect from our discussion. Enjoy listening, and I'll see you on Sunday for the full episode.
Welcome to FinScale, a podcast created by Solène Niederkorn, shedding light on innovation in finance, banking, and insurance.
Navigating the complexities of managing a publicly listed VC fund. Tim Levene, CEO of Augmentum FinTech.
So we have a really differentiated set of investors relative to the usual VCs. And for me, a big ambition was to really democratize that access to venture capital. And I think we've done that to a certain extent. We've got a long way to go, and hopefully we'll be the first of many others operating under this structure.
I am thrilled to have Tim joining us today. He shares with us the unique challenges and opportunities that come with managing a publicly listed fintech fund. He explains that the decision to list Augmentum was made to provide liquidity for shareholders and align their interests with those of entrepreneurs and investors. We explore the delicate balance between shareholders' expectation and long-term investment goals and how Augmentum manage investor relations and fund structure. Tim also explains Augmentum's investment thesis and their focus on deals within the fintech sector, particularly in digital banking, wealth management, and insurance. We take a closer look at Tide. Tim explains why they chose to invest in this particular fintech and how it positions itself in the European ecosystem. Overall, this episode is a must-listen for anyone interested in Augmentum and the world of fintech and VC funds. Enjoy the show! Hello, everyone. Hi, Tim. Very happy to have you on my podcast. And I would like to say a big thank you to Reginald for his kind intro. May I ask you to quickly introduce yourself?
Absolutely. I'd be delighted. My name is Tim Levene. I'm the CEO and founder of Augmentum FinTech. Augmentum FinTech is a publicly listed fintech fund listed on the London main market, focused on private fintech assets. And the unusual part about us is we are a venture capital fund, but investors, both retail and institutional, can trade us on a daily basis.
Excellent. And prior to be in the VC space, where were you?
So I would describe myself as an accidental VC. I've been an entrepreneur, and I still would like to classify myself as part entrepreneur, part investor. I think doing something different in the VC world has been a kind of a challenge of the past decade. Back in the late 90s, I did something quite unusual, and I left a very stable job in the strategy consulting world, a business called Levene company, and decided to open the first juice and smoothie bar in London, based in the city, as the advent of kind of healthy eating started to really move forward. And so that was my first foray into the world of kind of entrepreneurship, and I learned the hard way how hard it is to run 1-2 shops. That business evolved to be a 31-store business called Crush, which still exists today, despite having some pretty challenging moments during the last couple of years of COVID. And then in 1999, I was part of a team that launched an internet business called Flutter.com, which was based here in the UK, became a global business, merged with a company called Betfair in 2001, and became one of the highest profile internet betting businesses globally. And actually, when we built that business, it was all about disrupting and disintermediating traditional betting companies through technology. So back in 99, certainly in the UK, where we have a very strong regulated betting industry, it was controlled by three players who had pretty much about 85-90% market share. And I think that really opened my eyes when you see an oligopoly that is held together by regulation. As new technologies evolve, and they often move quicker than regulation, it was a great lesson in how innovators can really disrupt a very slow-moving and traditional industry. And within 5 years, Betfair was bigger than all three of the incumbents, and in probably 5 years later, was bigger than all three of them put together. So it's a great lesson and example of true disruption, and was a fantastic journey to be part of.
Thank you. What a career.
Well, it's still going. Hopefully there's a few more stories to be written.
Excellent. Okay, so you said in the beginning that Augmentum was listed. Before we start decipher what you do at Augmentum, I would be interested to know more about the reason why you decided to get Augmentum listed.
Yes, it's a really good question, because venture funds almost always are structured as what's known as GPLP structures with 10-year fixed lifespans, with the opportunity, obviously, to extend that life. But I think for me, my first phase in venture back in 2010 was really, can I adapt from operator, entrepreneur to investor? We had a more traditional GPLP fund backed by a single LP in a large listed investment trust here in the UK, really led by the Rothschild family. But I think what was quite clear in about 2016-17, as we were getting to the end of our investment cycle, was that the market was becoming increasingly more competitive, increasingly noisier. There were more what I would regard as entrepreneur-led VCs, where there was a real dearth of that when we started in 2010. And I think the challenge was, how can we differentiate in the market? And I think for us, we were able to differentiate firstly through our focus. So we had a pure focus on fintech, which was helpful. Mm-hmm. Two, the background of the senior team was more entrepreneur and operator led, which I think current founders and entrepreneurs truly do warm to, and our experience does resonate.
Now that you've heard an excerpt from the upcoming episode on Sunday, make sure you stay tuned and connected so you don't miss a beat.